Hey everybody, how's it going out there? This is Jonathan with Hope with Jonathan. Welcome back to another show. And I'm here with Brian Olivas from California. And he's a uh, peritoneal dialysis patient who is actively seeking a living donor on the transplant list. You're listed at UCLA?
Yes, I am.
UCLA? Okay.
Yeah.
And down here on the bottom of the screen is Brian's Facebook page. Brian Needs a Kidney, and you can find out all of his information there. Uh, so, hey, Brian, how you been doing?
Doing good, doing good. Just getting dialysis done right now.
Okay.
So
So you're doing dialysis right now
yeah,
while we're
yeah, I do
talking.
dialysis twice a day plus overnight. I
Oh
connect to
wow.
a do manual exchange, which is where
Uh
I fill up my stomach and I let it dwell in there for about 3 to 4 hours, and then I drain it,
huh.
and then wait about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and do that again, and then drain that after about 4 hours, and then wait another. By the time I do my overnight one, I usually wait like 4 hours and after the second manual exchange. Then I start my overnight exchange at 9 o'clock at night,
Okay.
and then usually if I
That's
start at 9, it'll finish around 7 in the morning.
That sounds really interesting. See, I did hemo, and then I ended up I was in center, and then I ended up doing home hemo.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea about peritoneal. I mean, I know of it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
aware of it, but everybody's prescription seems to be a little bit different with it. Uh,
Yeah, I had to start doing the two manual exchanges during the day because the solutions that I was on when I first started peritoneal dialysis wasn't working, and the toxins in my body built up and the fluid built up, and I was really loaded again with fluid. So I had to use a stronger solution now that works. But my nephrologist and my my PD doctor and my nephrologist both recommended that I do manual exchanges during the day, which
okay.
helps out, and I can still disconnect from the bags and go around and do stuff. But at the same time, it can be a pain because there are times when like you just it feels so heavy in you because it's 2.5 liter bag of fluid that's in my stomach right now.
So
And
Brian, if you don't mind me asking, what define manual exchange?
oh, um, hold on, let me get a bag. I'll show you what it is. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so instead of being on a dialyzer for the manual exchange, it is this size bag, and
And that's is
this,
that
and it,
is the fluid inside there? Is that dialysate or is that what is
yeah,
that?
it's dialysate,
Okay, okay,
and there's this long tube, this which connects to my catheter.
uh
So
huh,
it uses gravity to drain the fluid into my stomach
uh huh,
instead of being on the machine where it cycles through, and
right,
then the dialyzer will know like after an hour and a half it'll pull the fluid out and
uh huh.
put more fluid in, exchange that. But instead of the machine, I'm just doing it manually. So it's the
And
manual exchange.
you hang the bag high to where
Yeah,
it'll
it's
flow
hung
down.
on the pole, the IV
Uh
pole.
huh, uh
Yeah, and then
huh,
there's a separate bag right here. This one, if
uh
I
huh,
want to leave it connected and I just
uh
want to
huh.
sit here and watch TV for movies for like 4 hours,
Right.
and I could just drain it into that bag. If I want to get
Okay.
up and move around, I'll just disconnect myself from this bag put a cap on my catheter, and then use a separate drain bag to drain the fluid.
So it sounds like to me, essentially, you could take a break from PD and go do what you need to do, and then come back.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm disconnected right now. Like, this is right here my catheter, which is connected to my stomach, and it has this little cap on there. Right before this interview started, I drained a bag into my stomach, so it's in my stomach right now.
Okay.
So I can go out and do stuff, but at the same time too, it's like walking around with all this fluid in you.
Yeah,
you're getting tired, and you're just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So technically, I mean, I could still do stuff, but at the same time, it's like, nah, I don't want to.
Yeah, so it sounds like you want to kind of put the fluid in to cleanse your toxins and stuff, but then it sounds like you want to drain it as soon as possible because you don't want to be, having that much fluid on you.
Yeah, it helps to keep busy too for me, because then I forget about it sometimes, and then like, there have been times when oh my god, it's been 5 hours, I forgot. Because sometimes I don't. Sometimes it doesn't feel so heavy. Sometimes it does. I don't know. It's weird.
Did you get a chance to watch the episode with 2 guys and 6 kidneys?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you need to check that show out. Jason and his friend Rich, his buddy Rich, they have a show, and both of them were PD patients.
Really?
Of course, both of them ended up getting transplanted around the same time at the same hospital, believe it or not. Yeah, but they were both PD patients. So if you could catch their show, man, because
I've seen it on there.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it. You guys have a lot in common because you're a PD patient, and those 2 guys were PD patients, so they know exactly what you're going through with getting your supplies and having to store your supplies and being disciplined and being sterile and clean as possible and all that stuff. So, and they discussed all that in their episode. It was a great episode. So,
I'll check it out.
Being a home hemo patient, I only thing I can really sympathize, because hemo is completely different than PD.
Oh yeah.
But I can sympathize with the boxes. As a matter of fact, I'm only 2 months out of post-transplant, and I still got boxes of dialysate everywhere. And I've actually got the equipment, my next stage machine and all the equipment is sitting here in my living room, all boxed up. It's ready to be picked up, but they haven't sent the guy to come get it yet. So,
really?
Yeah, they're going to be coming and getting it. But I asked the center, hey, do you guys want the supplies back? No, we can't take your supplies back.
Yeah,
we can't take the dialysate. So, and you know what they told me? They told me to take it and dump it in my flowers, that it's good for, flowers and stuff like that.
Really?
I was like, okay. So
the dialysate?
I've got yeah. They said something about it's like vitamins or something in there that the electrolytes or whatever is good for putting in your garden or your flowers. Hopefully it doesn't kill them. I've got some flowers out back, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what it does, because, like I said, I've still got 30 or 40 boxes left. So
it's like plant food.
Yeah, I don't have to go out and buy any Miracle Grow, I guess,
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, Brian, last time we got it maybe a quarter of the way through an interview, we had a lot of technical difficulties. So I guess I start at the beginning. I'm going to let you kind of tell your story a little bit, and how you ended up on dialysis, and, what your diagnosis was, and all that stuff.
Oh, well, it was in 2016, and end of March. I was feeling, the last week of March, I was feeling bloated from the waist down, like everything. My legs, my calves, my feet were all swollen with fluid. And if you touched them, it felt like touching a waterbed. So I by the end of the middle of the week, like Thursday that week, I was really nervous about losing my job, so I didn't tell anybody about it until Thursday,
Right.
and this started on Monday. So finally, my friends and my boss at work told me, like, go to the hospital, go.
Yeah.
And I thought it was something else. I didn't think it would be kidney failure. So I got the emergency room, and after a while, the doctor came in and said, you have stage 5 kidney failure. And I didn't even know what that was. Like, they told me, like, oh, this is what you have. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and they're like, we're gonna have to admit you to the hospital, and
Right.
you're gonna have surgery on Monday for a catheter put in my
Okay.
chest.
Okay.
So I was really, it didn't really like affect me, where I was like, oh no, man, what am I gonna do? No, I was more like, okay, get it done.
Right.
It didn't seem like a big thing to me, because I didn't realize what I was in for.
Yep.
Um,
I understand.
yeah. So Monday morning, they come in like, okay, let's go. And the whole weekend, I'm like, it's not gonna happen. And they're just saying that. Monday morning, they came in, took me to the hospital, took me to the emergency for surgery, and then had the catheter put in. Later that day, had my was it later that day? I'm not sure if it was that day or the next day, but I know for 3 days straight, it was dialysis in the hospital.
Okay.
They would come in
Okay.
with the machine, you know. And when I was diagnosed, I have 5% of my kidneys were working.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it was like almost gone.
Yeah.
So,
Did you notice like your output of urine was like getting kind of low
I never
or
really, no,
anything?
no, no. I still think about that to this day. I'm like, I don't remember how much urine output I had.
Uh-huh.
I remember before when I used to have a lot, but I don't
Right.
remember a time when it was like, hey, I'm not urinating as much as before. So,
Right.
mm-mm.
Right.
Um,
Let's see, with
so,
me, I remember like I went from like doing like 5 or 6 times down to like
mm,
3, and I can kind of vaguely remember maybe doing like 2 or once a day. And those were, I should have recognized that as a sign, but
no,
it didn't play in my mind like that there was something majorly wrong. I just thought, well, maybe I just didn't drink enough fluids, or maybe I'm
no,
dehydrated, or, so
no, because I remember even being at work, and you're
mhm.
like, oh, I'll be back. I go to the bathroom. I go urinate. The one thing I do remember before I was diagnosed with all this that was
Uh-huh.
making me think that there's something wrong were the leg
Hmm.
cramps.
Oh,
Like, I would
okay.
get really bad leg cramps in the middle of the night, where
Yeah.
I would just wake up in pain and start screaming, like,
The,
you know,
so worse than a Charlie horse or like a Charlie horse?
worse than a Charlie horse. Worse than a Charlie
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah.
I think I told you before, where it just felt like all the fluid was being sucked out of my legs, and it was cramping up really bad.
Right.
I mean, and both of my legs. That I can remember. But yeah, nothing else. And then, like I said, all the fluid built up in from the waist down, like everything was swollen up.
Uh-huh.
Then, I had the dialysis, I had the surgery done, dialysis in the hospital for 3 days. And I was in the hospital for about a week from when I was admitted. Week and a half, I think.
Yeah.
And then my nephrologist, she told me I can either she told me about the two types of dialysis, and they didn't really explain to me how they were different. They just said you can either have the hemodialysis or the peritoneal dialysis. Hemodialysis We put something in your arm, peritoneal dialysis, we put it in your stomach. And at that time, I had like body image issues. I'm like, oh, I don't want people to see me like this. So I'll take the hemodialysis. At least they won't see it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
nowadays I'm like, I don't care. Put it in my stomach.
Yeah.
But
hemo's a whole different ball game.
So they fitted me with the chest catheter. I went to dialysis. In-center dialysis following after I was done at the hospital. And meeting the techs and everything, and it was still, I was still kind of upbeat about it. I was just going into, I remember the first day though, it was really weird and it was really uncomfortable. And, you get to know the dialysis. And then it's funny because when you're at dialysis, they get to be more of your friends than your regular friends.
Right.
When you go in center, because you see them a lot more. It's like going to work.
Right.
Yeah. So after a while,
you're seeing them after more than maybe sometimes even your family members.
Yep. And then after a while, I remember when it finally hit me about this disease and everything in dialysis. I think it was about like 4 months in to in-center dialysis, and I got really depressed. That's when the depression set in. And I just remember like feeling so sad and just my life is over. And then
dialysis has that effect on people. It's life altering. So like anybody that says dialysis is easy. Yeah, anybody that says dialysis is easy, it's not for the weak of heart. That's for sure.
Nope. And I still get depressed sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm not even in center. I'm at home and I can do whatever I want. Like, oh, I want to go do this, I want to do that. But at the same time, I'm still stuck to these manual bags.
It's always about being stuck on that machine. I always had this thought, like I was some sort of like almost like a robot or something, because I was living off of a machine, and that's the only thing that made me kind of depressed was, or made me have negative thoughts. I was pretty positive during my experience, but the only thing that caused me negative thoughts was I was like, I'm actually living off of this machine. The machine is what's cleansing my blood and all that stuff, and giving me every treatment was basically like life-saving. And
I don't feel normal. I need this to keep me alive. I'm not like everybody else. I need so.
And I think because of that dependency, the dependency on that machine, and it's like you have that feeling of a sense of loss or a sense of not being normal, and it can weigh heavy on you. It's like I said, it's life altering. Altering,
I mean,
for
sure. For me too, is I know you're married. For me though, it's hard to feel like I even want to get out there and try to find someone to date, because it's like, well, I can disguise disease but if I find somebody, like, you're gonna have to help me when I need it. Right now I have my mom as my caregiver. But eventually, if I find somebody like, hey, look, this is what I have, this is what I do, and then it's like, and I worry about having to tell somebody that.
My take on that is, and I'm not in your predicament. I'm married. I've been married almost 20 years. Almost 20 years. Okay.
Wow.
But what what I would say is the one person that if you do find someone, they're gonna like you and love you for who you are and have to accept you
Yeah.
for your situation. And
Hmm.
when you find that right one, it won't matter to them. They'll want to help you out and see you through. For
Yeah.
especially to get a transplant. And that's
Oh
what
yeah.
that's why we're doing this show is we want to create awareness for you for kidney disease, and we want to create
Hmm.
awareness for you to get a living donor. And guys, if
Oh
you're
yeah.
watching out there, down on the bottom of the screen is Brian's Facebook page with his information. He's actively on the transplant list, and Brian Needs a Kidney is the Facebook page, and his information is on there. He's listed at UCLA. You live in Darte, California?
Doherty, California.
Oh,
Yep.
Doherty.
Mhm.
And that's like right. You told me it's right outside of
It's
LA, right?
yeah. It's in LA County, and I'm about
Uh-huh.
on a good day with hardly any traffic, like 25 minutes away from LA.
Okay. So, do
Yeah.
you know Chris Acosta, or do you
No,
got
I met him
familiar with
through.
each other?
I met him. I met him through on here. I think it was
Uh,
through Jeffrey. I saw
okay.
Jeffrey.
Okay.
All the stuff that Jeffrey does. All the
Yeah.
pages. Yeah,
Uh huh.
that's how
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people through Jeffrey.
So, a shout out to Jeffrey Brown. He does a lot of advocating for Brian Olivas. He does a lot of advocating for a lot of different patients, and he does some
Yes, it is.
very, very creative and very amazing posters and videos, and just all kind of different creative ways of advocating for kidney donation and organ donation for these patients. So,
And what's
shout out
awesome
to
about
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Brown.
Yeah, what's awesome about Jeffrey is that he's never met any of us. He's met us through these pages, and he's all the
Right.
way out in Abu Dhabi, where the
Right.
time change is
Right.
different. And I've noticed that,
Yes.
but like I'm getting ready to go to bed. He's waking up,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I wake up in the
So
morning and he's still at it. He's
yeah.
still going
So
doing stuff.
it's like early Saturday morning over there right now, and it's
Hmm.
probably like maybe three or just somewhere around there in the morning a.m. So he's
Hmm.
not going to be able to catch this right now, but he'll catch it later. Trust me. And
I bet you anything
yeah,
he's probably still up though.
he may be. He may be. But
Yeah.
shout out to Jeff. That's one of the reasons why
Yes.
that me and you are doing this interview. We did a live
Yes.
interview with Jeff, and
Yes, we
we
did.
met each other, and we became friends. So we became friends through Jeff
Through
again. So
Jeffrey. Yep.
yeah, by him advocating and just all that and sharing and now he's got me sharing his post, and
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
awesome
sharing
that you're
for a
doing
lot of
this
different
too.
people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome that you're doing this too. We need more people to advocate too for this. You know,
sure,
um,
sure.
I do it through the Kidney Foundation, the NKF. I have my kidney walk
Yeah.
coming up. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then I'm trying to get my baking done. My baking for renal patients, for dialysis patients.
Okay.
My renal
Okay.
free baking. So yeah.
Right. So Brian was a chef before he got sick. So what
Mhm.
was you working at a restaurant or?
Yeah, yeah. I was working at a restaurant,
Okay.
just the next city over from where I live.
Yeah. And what type of foods and stuff did you cook there? Just all kinds or?
All kinds. It was mainly American cuisine, like burgers, sandwiches. We would
Uh-huh.
do pastas, pizzas, also.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So if you get transplanted, you would plan on going back into being a chef, right?
I think I would stick with my baking.
You're baking?
I do miss cooking, like being in a restaurant cooking. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I think, like I said, with my way of advocating now for dialysis patients and kidney patients, would be to do something to help them out. I mean, I would love to do my baking as a bakery, maybe
Right.
also doing a little cafe, like a restaurant geared for renal patients, because it's hard even going
Okay.
out trying to find.
Right.
It's hard
Yeah.
going out to restaurants trying to get something to eat, because then you got to have all these different modifications on food. It's hard to go shopping. I mean, to find something ready-made. I mean, you could buy stuff and make it yourself, but from being on hemodialysis, the last thing you want to do is cook. You're tired. So you just want to have something ready to eat. So that's my thing that I want to do, is to have stuff ready for kidney patients.
And, I think that's an amazing ideal. And I often thought of that. I remember coming home from the hospital. Me and my wife went to the grocery store. We have HEBs here. And I spent like 2 hours in the grocery looking at labels and reading labels and, checking over everything on the diet. And, it was actually, like I said, it was life altering. I had to completely change my diet. So I spent a lot of time researching different foods, and I pretty much figured out everything in a box or bag, any kind of a processed type of food was pretty much, had some sort of phosphate or phosphorus in it.
Yeah.
And I had to abstain from that. And then, of course, like dairy products, with tomatoes and bananas and oranges and all those type of things. So every time if I was out, like you said, food modification, I would have to like modify my salad. I would tell them no cheese, no tomato. I was basically just eating green lettuce, Yeah. And sometimes the place that I would go to would throw like onions on there. So I would have like lettuce and onions and a little bit of ranch dressing on there to try to give it a little flavor. But like, man, I miss the tomatoes and cheese, so much.
Pizza. And for me, it's hard because because I love Italian food. So a lot of Italian food has the tomato sauce and cheeses, all different types of cheeses.
Yeah. So like, a dialysis patient eating like a pizza, let's say a Papa John's or a Pizza Hut pizza, is like almost like playing Russian roulette.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you can get a pizza,
you eat a couple of slices, and
I'll take one slice of pizza, then I'll have to cut that in half and then eat that. That's what we're allowed.
Because
that's what we're allowed.
Sure enough, you'll eat that pizza, and then they'll want to do surprise, it's a lab day. And they want to run a new lab on you or something. And
that's why whenever that's why on lab days, you'd be like, okay, after labs, I'll go get a slice of pizza because I know my lab's not for a while, so it'll have time to get out of my body.
I don't know how many times I would read people's posts on like different pages that I would follow. That people that were like on dialysis, they always said eat your labs. And I didn't figure that out until like probably 3 months, in on dialysis. And then finally I figured out, okay, if I wait till after lab draws, I may be able to sneak a piece of pizza in, or maybe some Mexican food.
I still do that.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm not recommending that. I'm not recommending that because each patient is different. Yeah. And I was on 2 different renal binders. I was on the calcium acetate, and then she put me on the Renbella. So I was on the Renbella.
Renbella and Velphoro is what I use.
Okay. So that was on she had me on 2 and 2. And when I say she, I mean my nephrologist. She had me on 2 and 2. And so on cheat meals, or if she knew I was going to eat something that was probably a little high in phosphorus, I had to add like maybe 1 or 2 on each one to try to. So there were some meals that I remember taking like 4 to maybe 6 binders a meal, just depending on what I was eating. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be. Let's just be real. There's going to be times that. If your family goes out to eat somewhere and there's a meal that, you're not going to be able to follow the renal diet completely because of where you're at, I mean, it's not like you can go to the chef at these different restaurants and say, hey, I'm on a renal diet. Can you cook it this way or that way? It's not going to happen. So,
and I know from working in kitchens, from me working, I know this from working in kitchens that there are some restaurants where the chef will be like, no substitutes, no modifications. That's how I make it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and that's how and that's what I would do when I would work in kitchens. Some kitchens, I would even say, this is how I make it. This is my art. So no, you can't change it. So I know
a lot of restaurants also are using, prefab meals. They're frozen meat, frozen foods that they just prep and then slap it on a plate and send it on out. And there's no way to modify it. It's already been pre-seasoned, salt, pepper, whatever spice that it came with, and there's no modification. You can't modify it. So you're kind of at a loss there. I learned that the hard way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I remember going to like a certain chicken restaurant. I won't name a name because I don't want to hear anything back from it. But I went and got their grilled chicken sandwich, and man, it was so salty. And I asked them if there was any way I could get it with no salt, and they said, "Oh no, our meat comes pre-seasoned, and there's nothing that we could do about the sodium." And it had like 1,500 milligrams of sodium in it, and it was so salty. But it was a grilled chicken sandwich, so I thought for sure it was healthy, right? But, it wasn't.
No.
So, but back to you, Brian. Back to you. So, so you left the in-center, went on peritoneal dialysis, and you kind of gave us an explanation of what you're doing now as a manual exchange. And then whenever you go to bed, you have to hook up to your machine?
Yeah, it's a little dialyzer about the size of a printer. It's actually the size of a printer. And it has a 20-foot tube on it that connects to me so I can get up and walk around. And when I walk around here, I can walk out through the hallway into the living room, but that's about it. So whenever I connect to it, I'm stuck. So whatever I have to do, I have to make sure it's done. I gather all that I need from the kitchen in here, and it connects to 3 bags of dialysate, and it's 6 cycles on the machine. Starts at 9 o'clock at night, and it goes through 1 bag. Once that bag is done, that bag is like it does 1 cycle, then another cycle. I have 6 cycles for the whole night.
Okay.
And so
So and then your machine's running at a slow rate.
It runs pretty slow. And it has alarms. Like last night, the alarm kept going off on it. I guess I was sleeping wrong. So last night, it didn't really pull that much toxins out of me. Because I check it gives a readout of your progress.
So there's like different bags, right, that you can run. Like there's like a green and a red. From what I understand,
there's green, red, and yellow. Green, red, and yellow. The red is the strongest. It'll pull like a lot of toxins and fluid out of you. But that's if you're really overweight with fluid. Like that's only used and then there's the green bag. That's what I use. I use three green bags. And then there's the yellow, which is if you're okay and you don't have a lot of toxins and you just use that. That's the one I started with, was with the yellows. I used 2 yellows and 1 green, and that's how my body got all bloated and stuff because I had to use greens instead. So I use green all the time.
So if you have a bad day, or you're heavy with fluid, you're going to use a red bag. Now, are you type 2 diabetic?
I use insulin.
You are. Okay. Because I was under the understanding that the dialysate, the red bags had caused your sugar to go up because of the mixture and the rate of mixture in it. That it had it would cause your sugars to go up.
Oh yeah. So that's why it does.
You have to be careful with which bag you're going to use based upon your sugar readings, right?
Yeah, and luckily I haven't had to use any red since I started.
Uh-huh.
I do have a bag with me just in case, but
Uh-huh.
I haven't gotten that bad to where I would need that. I mean, that would be for me. It would be like I think if I missed a day or two of dialysis,
So is that what
and
caused your kidney failure? Was type 2 diabetes, or was it a
high
combination
blood
of type 2
pressure,
diabetes and high blood pressure? Okay.
high blood pressure. Yeah, yeah.
So,
And I used to drink and smoke, so that wasn't good either.
okay.
Because that just raises up your blood pressure.
So to just let you
So,
guys know, the guy, you out there that are listening, type 2 diabetes and hypertension are the top main causes of kidney disease. So
hmm
if you have type 2 diabetes and hypertension, make sure that you're, going and getting your labs and getting your blood work done and going and checking up with your doctor
and
right
have your
away,
kidneys
because
checked to see. Yeah.
for sure, have your kidneys checked. A simple blood test can tell them where your creatinine
hmm
levels are, and that lets them know what the kidney function is, and all that, and they can go from there. But I would definitely recommend anybody listening out there that to definitely, if you think you're having any symptoms at all with your kidneys,
Go get it
don't
checked.
delay. Yeah, go get it checked. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Get out there, make an
Because you
appointment,
don't want to
and
be
get it
dealing with
checked.
this stuff.
Right.
That's what I tell my friends and everybody I know is like, go get yourself checked. Change
Right.
your bad eating habits, your bad habits. Get yourself checked. Like you just said, it's just a simple test to find out.
Yes.
And I tell them that if you don't, then chances are just because you don't have it now doesn't mean later on in life you won't get it. That you won't get kidney
Right.
failure. So,
Right.
and I tell them that you don't want to be going through what I do, especially when you get
It's,
older.
especially if you're type 2 diabetic. If you're type 2
hmm
diabetic and you're hypertensive and you're going around and you're not taking care of yourself and you're eating what you want and you're not really worried about your numbers and you're young and you're out there, eventually it's going to catch up, and you're going to
Oh
be,
yeah.
you're going to be in bad shape if you continue on that path. And that's what happened with me, was years of abuse to my body. I ate what I wanted, did what I wanted, and I had type 2 diabetes, and I was young and careless and didn't listen to the doctors. And now I'm using my voice and my doing these type of shows and advocating for people, just like you're telling your friends. I'm telling my friends and family
Yep.
as well. Hey, go out there, get yourself checked out. You don't want to end up in a hospital bed, almost, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just
So
moments from death. So
that's what
uh,
it felt like.
yeah,
Yes.
for sure, for sure.
hmm
And your story and my story are almost similar.
Yeah.
I was very swollen as well. I couldn't even put on my shoes. I was
Really.
just really swollen. My legs were like, and my ankles were like what they call cankles.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, my legs were huge. My upper thighs were swollen, and I was in a 3X shirt, 3X pants. I
Oh
wore
wow.
the like sports pants with the
hmm
elastic band, and I was in a pair of 3X of those. Um, I was a large man. I was 350 pounds. And
Wow.
what I didn't realize was I had most of that, a lot of that was fluid. And over the years, where my kidneys had been failing, I just kept swelling out and continued to, put on fluid.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh wow.
definitely, that's a major symptom and a sign of
hmm
kidney issues. If you're having issues of swelling, especially in your lower extremities, your
Yeah.
feet, and your ankles and stuff like that, you need to be aware of that, because that swelling could be a sign of kidney disease.
Yeah. And see, and that happened to me before. I remember my feet swelled up before, and then it went down. So I'm like, oh, okay, no problem.
Right.
People have that problem, and it goes away. Go get yourself checked out.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. No doubt. I mean, And to me, it makes sense to, even if it doesn't turn out to be kidney disease, at least
Yeah.
and that gives you a sense of ease, that at least
Hmm.
so Brian,
Oh, yeah.
right now you're how many years have you been on peritoneal now?
Peritoneal, I've only been on this for about, let's see, about 8 months. I
Okay, so
think
you've been
around
on
eight
it eight
months.
months, and
But
then you
yeah,
did
but I did
in center
th-
hemo for 3 years.
3 years, three,
Okay,
three,
so
almost 4 years.
you're rounding like 4 years and
I'm
some months.
uh, yeah, I did almost 4 years in center. The past year, it's coming up on 5 years soon, but I've been on
Okay,
dialysis. So yeah.
okay. So you've been on it a pretty good amount of time, and you know,
Hmm.
um, so and what's your blood type? Are you a
O positive.
O positive? Okay, so
So
I
I
was
can use
O
either O
negative.
positive or negative,
Right.
for a
It doesn't
transplant.
matter about that.
Yeah.
Also, now O can only receive an O, but they can donate, I
Mhm.
believe, to any other blood
Yeah,
type.
I could do.
And
Yeah,
so
we're
O's a
universal
little unique.
donors. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, if you're out there and you are interested in donating to Brian and become his living donor, there's a program called the Parent Exchange Program, and
Hmm.
it doesn't matter about your blood type, because what they do is they'll take your kidney and exchange it with someone else, and that would give Brian the ability to get a kidney
Hmm.
from someone else that would match him, and then again they would take the donor's kidney and give it to someone else that they would be a match for, and it's called the
Hmm.
Parent Exchange, or AKA swap program, and
Yeah.
it's a great program. I know a couple of patients that's taken advantage of that program, and it's been a success for them. And so if you're out there and you're interested, and you find out you're not a blood there's an issue with the blood match, there's always the Parent Exchange Program.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be awesome.
have you ever
Um,
had any have you ever had any like potential people that was going to be your donor?
I've had 3 people, and when you go to the UCLA site, you'll know within a matter of like 15, 20 minutes if you could donate or not. They ask you a few questions, and
Right.
my brothers tested to see if they could. Both can't because high blood pressure is something that runs in the family. So if you have high blood pressure, if you have any type of disease, that's an automatic no. If you're overweight, that's no. I had another person who she went to see if she could. She filled out the form. She was overweight, so that's how I knew she couldn't. So yeah, that's I've had those 3 people.
Okay.
I and
Okay.
what's really, guess it gets depressing. It gets sad. Is like I've had people tell me, "Oh yeah, I'll check. I'll check. I'll find out. I'll find out." And they don't. Or I've had people
Yeah.
online tell. I've had people online on Facebook. Oh, such person wants to find out if she could donate. How does she do this? Let her know. So I would contact this person, try to get in touch with them, never hear back from them. I've had a lot of that, and it gets hard trying to find a donor sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
I've
For
made
sure.
t-shirts for friends to wear with my information on it,
Uh
thinking
huh.
that I would want these people like, oh, I'm gonna go out. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna wear this shirt to help promote Brian. Like
Right.
nobody does. Like it gets hard. Like it is awesome that you're doing this show because then it can get out there and it can get shared
Right.
like that.
Right.
But with like T-shirts, it's hard. I did, however, make a shirt for myself.
Okay.
For me to wear. And I was like, you know what? And on my birthday, was it on my birthday? Yeah, on my birthday, I decided to wear it when I went out with my mom. And went down to Orange County area. I wore it there, went antique shopping, and then went to go have lunch. And at the restaurant we're at, the waiter says, hey, I just want to, at the end of the meal, I say, hey, I'm sorry, about, you needed a kidney. Is that shirt for you? I'm like, yeah, this is my information. Do you mind if I write that information down and I can pass it along to people?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. So I decided from now on, the shirts that I'm going to make are just going to be for me to wear out. So, yeah.
Yeah,
because I mean,
I think a T-shirt is great advertising for kidney advocating, and I'll tell you why. You're like a walking billboard. I mean, you're basically a walking sign. It has, and as long as you make sure you have, your name or maybe even the name of your Facebook page, and letting them know like maybe the phone number of the hospital or the website. The blood type, all that stuff, and making sure that you got all the information correct on it. I mean, you're a walking billboard.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Okay.
So this is. I just had to change my phone number, but I have. Oh yeah, so this is the old shirt.
Okay. Can you hold it close to the camera, or you have a new one?
I have a new phone number, but this is not my phone number. I did put my new phone number on the Facebook page.
Okay.
I'll put it up again. Or if people want to know, it's 626-483-1465. This is my new number.
And that's listed on the Brian Needs a Kidney page, right?
Yeah, I just changed it. So.
Okay.
It should be on there.
All right. All of your information and the link to the UCLA hospital is on there as well.
Yep.
Okay. And how long have you been on that transplant list?
I think 4 years now. 4
years.
4 or 5, somewhere around there. I've been told
congratulate you.
Oh, thank you. I've been told though.
Usually that means you're in compliance. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been told that the day that you're start dialysis is the day you're on the list. That you're actually put on the list. That they have to count that day. So I think it's been 5 years or 4 something years, almost 5 years. So yeah.
So the way that my center did, I was in center for like 3 months, and then they finally came to me and said, "Hey, we're going to put you on the transplant list. I think you'd be a great, fit for a transplant." And I was like, "Okay, well, great." Of course, I was still like new to dialysis, so I was still trying to take all that in. But so I was like, "Okay, great," and we're going to send you down to get evaluated and all that. So I ended up, going down to San Antonio to get, evaluated. And I spent like the whole day because you have to see like a whole team of doctors, you're familiar with it,
Oh yeah.
And get them all, sign off on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And each one of the doctors, signed off on it, and I was ready to go. All we needed was the kidney, and I think that's probably in your case too. That's all you're waiting on. You're just waiting on that one particular person, that one donor, to come along and help you out.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, if you're listening to this, again, Brian's Facebook page is down on the bottom of the screen. It's Brian Needs a Kidney. And Brian is actively seeking a living donor. He's O positive blood type, which we've already spoke about the paired exchange program. So at this point, it really doesn't really matter about the blood type, especially with the paired exchange program. And if you guys are listening out there, share this story with your friends. Share this on Facebook. We want to give Brian a hope and a chance of receiving the gift of life, and that's what this show's about, is giving hope. And we want to see Brian receive his kidney donation.
Yes, please.
Hey, Brian, if you had a chance to say something to someone that was even contemplating or thinking about being your donor, what would you, if you were self-advocating for yourself, what would you say to that person?
Oh, that they'd be helping save a person's life, and help give them a gift of life, and give it a second chance at, at life, and being able to do the things they miss out on. You don't realize all the things you're missing out on when you have this disease, like work, just going. The one thing I miss doing the most, because I can't do it because of the catheter, or when I had a chest catheter, was going swimming. Something simple.
Yeah.
I was going swimming.
Right.
Yeah. You don't realize all the stuff you're missing out on. So if whoever would donate would give me a second chance to enjoy life, to experience a lot of stuff in life, not being stuck to a machine, being stuck at home when other family members go out and do stuff, missing out on spending time with your friends because you have to connect to a machine at night to stay alive. A lot of stuff,
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I know you guys are listening, and we thank you for joining this show. And I hope you hear the sincerity in Brian's voice, and his personal story and his journey is much like some of us other kidney patients. We've all experienced ups and downs and in-center issues and things like that. And Brian's story is much like mine. And I want to see Brian, receive that gift of life. And like I said, if you're thinking about donating to Brian and you want to be his donor, Brian Needs a Kidney is his Facebook page, and all of his information's on there. He's listed at UCLA Hospital, and so you can reach out to Brian there. And his name's Brian Olivas. And Brian, I really appreciate you coming on the show and telling us about your personal story and your journey, and explaining about PD and how you do your treatments. And we really appreciate
thank you for letting me come on here and do this.
It's no problem. And this is my second interview with you, and actually it's my third in a way.
Third.
But yeah. But I've enjoyed talking with you, and we kind of cut up on Facebook together, but I feel like you're a good guy and worthy of a transplant. And I told Jeff, I was talking with Jeff about it. I said, I really want to see Brian get that kidney, and I want to help everybody, and I want to see everybody get their kidney transplant. But I don't know if I'm a man of faith, so I think God put a little special place in my heart for you, and I want to stand by with you and continue advocating for you, and continue sharing for you until you get that gift of life. And then I think at that point, you're gonna have your own personal story that you're going to share with other people. You probably already are. And and that's going to give you the opportunity to have a voice and tell someone, hey, look, this is what happened to me, and then I ended up getting a transplant. And but you're already positive. I mean, you're already talking about doing a possible little cafe restaurant, like with renal safe food. Whatever,
I think it's
what type of baked goods do you make?
I've made muffins, scones, cinnamon rolls, donuts. What else have I done?
Renal Safe donuts.
Yeah, they're baked donuts. They're
Baked
not
donuts.
fried.
Okay.
They're baked. They're
Okay.
baked,
Baked
but
donuts.
still,
Yeah.
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 Um, yeah, I've made
No, no MSG or anything like that in them.
no. I've done some cookies.
Cookies.
Yeah,
Okay.
like sugar cookies, but it's sugar free. But
Right.
oh god, I don't remember. I mean, I have a here's a list. Here's a book of all my recipes right here. Like
Okay. Brian's holding up a
muffins,
pretty large folder
pretzels,
there.
like
Pretzels.
pretzels, a churro muffin,
Oh wow.
cherry almond biscotti, just all different types of stuff. Because
Okay.
it
Okay.
was mainly started because I would do in center in the morning,
Okay.
and they allowed food, so I was like, oh, and they would serve us coffee, so I was like, well, I want to have something to go with my coffee, so I was
Right.
like, what can I make? Because I didn't like bringing in stuff, and then the if the nutritionist or the nephrologist came by, they're like, what's in that? So
Oh, for
this way,
sure. For sure.
if I made something, I'm like, I made this, and then it just started from there, where other patients be like, what do you have? Oh, I made this. I'll bring some for you to try. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? This could be a business too. So since I wasn't at work and I missed working, it's like, oh, well, this could be a way for me to start working then, and then it would be a way for me to advocate for,
Right.
kidney
That's
patients.
true.
So it
That's
just started
true.
from that.
Right. What I think would be amazing is if someone would come out with a line of food that is renal safe, like
That's what I want to do.
that would follow the renal diet,
Oh, that's also what
that would
else I want to do. Yeah.
that actually could be sold at like the grocery store. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in the day and time of an age of our food, with all the preservatives and all the GMOs and all that stuff that they put in some of this food, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure it would probably be very expensive because most of it's going to be
Oh,
pretty organic.
yeah. It would
No
be.
chemicals. So
Yeah. And
it
right
would
now,
probably be very expensive.
I'm trying to. I know there's. I mean, not trying, but I know there's a way. Is no, excuse me. I want to make cakes, and I want to be able to do birthday cakes for the dialysis patients, because in center too, we
Okay.
would also like celebrate birthdays. So well, hey,
Right.
why can't we just get a cake for them, and they can all share it, and it's renal
Renal,
friendly. So
renal safe. Renal safe. Yeah. That
yeah.
would be amazing. That would definitely be amazing.
So uh, I'll post it on my Facebook once I do it. I'll post pictures, because I usually post pictures of my food.
Okay.
Like on my regular Facebook page, I have a whole album of all different types of food I've done. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna have to put that on my kidney page once I'm done with everything. So
Well, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Well, again, Brian, I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, sharing your personal story. And again, this show, we're here letting Brian, tell his personal story about his journey, and we're also advocating for him a living donor. Like I said, if you're interested, the information is down below on the ticker. The Facebook page is Brian Needs a Kidney. And I'd like to thank Jeff Brown also for hooking us up and letting us do this interview. Uh, kind of wanted him on as a co-pilot, but because of his time schedule, it's kind of hard for him to get up at like 2 in the morning
I'm sure we'll
to
get another
do
one
an
done with
interview.
him.
Oh, I'm sure you
Hopefully,
will. I'm sure you will.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so shout out to Jeff. And any shout outs for you? Anybody you want to say hello to or goodbye or thanks
No,
for watching?
just everybody for watching. You know,
Okay.
everybody for watching this. and then sharing this. Yes.
Okay.
Just shout out to everybody.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Again, I want to thank Brian for coming on, and I'm Jonathan. This was Hope with Jonathan. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. There's some pretty great information on here regarding PD, and again, Brian's information, and we've talked about, we're advocating for him a living donor. So Brian needs a kidney, and if you guys are interested, the information is down below. Brian needs a kidney on Facebook.
Yep.
Brian, you take care and have a great night.
Thank you.
We're gonna keep sharing and believing and having hope that someone's gonna step forward for you.
I hope so.
So
yes,
guys, share this video please with your friends and family on social media. We'd really appreciate it. Brian will really greatly appreciate it. And again, thank you for watching. You guys have a great night. Take care, Brian.
All right. Thanks. You too.